I haven't been able to come up with an explanation. And then I listened to Dak Prescott in that press conference yesterday, and I thought, for the first time, it makes sense. Maybe behind closed doors, in rooms that we're not invited into, in places that we haven't heard much about, these Dak negotiations are much closer to getting done than we think they are. All of us sit here saying, he'd be crazy to sign a contract right now. Well, all of a sudden, he sounds, maybe he's a very good actor.
Well, yes. I mean, look, I think he is. I think when Dak Prescott's finish your thought, and then I'll tell you what.
Either he's a very good actor, or they're closer to a deal than I thought they were, and that might be what's holding up the CD Lamb situation.
It's an interesting theory. I don't think it's accurate, but it's interesting. I think they're trying to do both of these deals. I think they could absolutely get a CD Lamb deal done tomorrow, irrespective of the Dak Prescott situation. But I think when Dak talks publicly, like in a media press conference setting, he's almost like a more authentic and likable Russell Wilson, right? Like he's going to say the right thing, right? Like he's going to do it in less of an obvious way. But I think we're in a situation here where if there is a parting of ways between Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, that's going to be seismic for the franchise. Yeah. And each side is going to want to make sure that the fans know it wasn't their fault. Right. So if Dak leaves, like he wants to be able to say, like, oh, I wanted to be in Dallas, it just didn't work out.
I mean, I've been saying this for a while. I thought, when Tua deal got done, I think that was the last, chip to fall, and now they can really negotiate off all the quarterbacks that we consider that Dak considers he's better than and more deserving of the process. Because Tua had played well for the last 2 years, I feel like they're going to hold off on the CD because it's so obvious, so easy to do the CD deal. But really, you want the first deal to be done is Dak Prescott. So I feel like, maybe there is something to this that maybe they've been talking, and at the end of the day, I don't care how many cards and how much leverage Dak has. If he goes into the season and hurts himself like he did before, it ruins it all. Lifelong Dallas Cowboy, that makes you immortalized within that organization and that city for a long time.
So what I've been saying about Dak is not that he'd be crazy to do a deal right now, but he doesn't have to do a deal right now unless he gets everything he wants.
Right.
Now, if part of everything he wants is to be a Cowboy for life and he gets that in this deal, then great, go ahead, get your money. But he's not negotiating against the Tua deal or the Trevor Lawrence deal. He's negotiating against the idea of being on the open free agent market next March. And those are the kinds of numbers they're thinking about. What would that be if all of a sudden the Raiders and the Saints and the Giants and the Jets are all bidding for, and the Cowboys are all bidding for my services? Well, that's going to go way above where Tua is right now. So that's what he's negotiating against because they can't franchise it.
All right, let's open the offices of Tannenbaum and Greenberg for some explanation here. What are you hearing, Mike T?
Well, I think CD Lamb does get done. And I'll say this, if I was a player in the Dallas Cowboy locker room and Dak Prescott gets done before the season, I'm pissed at him. And here's why, Greeny. At a $55 million cap, that's 22% of their salary cap. And we saw Tony Pollard leave. We saw Tyron Smith leave. We saw CD Lamb not get his deal done. Micah Parsons wants a new deal. And you're our quarterback. So if this deal gets done between now and opening day, I'm sure the sentiment in the locker room would be really disappointed with their quarterback because you have a responsibility when you have that much of the team's resources. Get it done early so you have the best chance. They were a really good regular season team, as we well know last year. Try to keep that nucleus together. There's more questions on this team this year than there were last.
You're not buying it, Bart.
Because deadlines spurn action, right? And we've seen Jerry do this over and over again, but at the end of the day, Jerry always signs the guy, right? Now, he let Tyron Smith go because I feel like he knew it was time for Tyron Smith to graduate because he knows that Zach Martin is coming. They've drafted a tackle, his replacement. Yeah. He was getting older. Like, I think every game was a gift. 13 games started, but he's been injured. So I can't blame this on Dak Prescott. I blame this on Jerry in the sense of urgency starting to pick up because he realizes that, hey, he didn't blink. This is the second time that he didn't blink in negotiations, so I have to kind of concede and give him what he wants. Jerry has always done that, whether it was Emmett after the 2 games,
right,
or whether it was Ezekiel Elliott going to Cabo, right? So, like, Jerry's never let anybody that was substantial walk away.
Yeah, agreed. Over the last couple of years, we talk about what they do in free agency, but what they tend to do is sign their own people.
Right.
I think Randy Gregory was the one guy, right, that they really tried to sign and lost to another team. So Yeah, but like this is the big one. Like Dak Prescott's the big one. If they lose him, everything's a reset in Dallas. They have to find a new quarterback, possibly a new coach, depending how the season goes. So
Eric's not getting any younger. So,
right. So I think that's it could happen. Like Dak could be telling the truth, right? Like they have had conversations since camp opened. There's no question about it. The right phone call can take you from we're nowhere near a deal to we have a deal. So yes, would it be surprising? I don't think so. But I think CeeDee Lamb is certain to get done before week 1, and Dak is still up in the air because of his situation, all the leverage he has.
Right. I mean, I keep hearing that CD is certain to be done before week 1. And you know what? I mean, I heard that a month ago, and I heard it a week ago, and I heard it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, and now it's Friday. I mean, did he just not want to go to training camp? I mean, does he not want to be in the
right?
season?
Like, let's keep an eye on that. They're back in Texas next week from Oxnard. Maybe that's when it gets done. I don't know why you wouldn't want to go out there. It's gorgeous out there. It's nice and cool, ocean breezes, all that. But maybe that's it. Maybe he didn't want to go out there. I don't know.
Oxnard in August is a lovely place to be.
I will be completely stunned if CeeDee Lamb is not on the field for the Cowboys week 1.
So will I. But I would have been completely stunned if you had told me that Dak Prescott was going to become an unrestricted free agent next year. And it looks like that's on the way to happening. I want to show you.
The clock is ticking in Dallas, and the weight of the decision looming over the Cowboys is almost suffocating. Will the franchise extend Dak Prescott, their star quarterback, or are they risking a seismic shift that could shake the very foundation of America's team? With the NFL season approaching, the Cowboys must make a move that could define their future for years to come. Make no mistake, this decision is more than just about numbers on a contract. It's about the fate of the Cowboys as a whole. Dak Prescott is entering the final year of his 4-year, $160 million contract, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The Cowboys face a critical crossroads: extend Prescott and secure stability at the most important position in football, or let him walk into free agency, potentially resetting the entire franchise. The situation is complicated, with significant financial implications that could impact the entire Cowboys roster now and in the future. The pressure on the Cowboys front office is immense. Jerry Jones has maintained an all-in mantra for 2024, but that sentiment doesn't reflect the lack of big moves in free agency. Extending Prescott could provide the financial flexibility Dallas needs to make critical upgrades, yet pushing money into future years could handcuff the team later on. Prescott's current cap hit of $55.5 million is a massive burden, and restructuring his deal could free up vital space. But at what cost? The Cowboys risk locking themselves into a financial bind that could limit their ability to build a competitive team in the coming years. The stakes are even higher when considering the other stars Dallas needs to lock down. CeeDee Lamb, one of the league's premier wide receivers, is in the final year of his contract, and defensive powerhouse Micah Parsons is eligible for an extension. If the Cowboys want to secure their future, they need to extend these stars sooner rather than later. But extending Prescott could mean less money available for Lamb, Parsons, and others. The dominoes are set to fall, and the Cowboys are running out of time to decide which direction they'll take. Prescott isn't just another quarterback, he's the face of the franchise. He was an MVP candidate last year, leading the NFL in completions and touchdown passes while nearly guiding the Cowboys to playoff glory. But despite his impressive resume, there are lingering doubts about whether Prescott is the quarterback who can finally deliver a Super Bowl to Dallas. His playoff record is a mediocre 2-5, and last year's heartbreaking loss to Green Bay in the divisional round left fans questioning his ability to win when it matters most. Yet letting Prescott walk is a gamble that could backfire spectacularly. If Prescott hits the open market, there will be no shortage of suitors willing to throw big money at him. Teams like the Raiders, Saints, and even the Jets would be eager to secure a quarterback of his caliber. Prescott knows this, and he's made it clear that he won't be taking a discount to stay in Dallas. The market for top-tier quarterbacks is fierce, and Prescott is poised to cash in, whether it's with the Cowboys or another franchise. The Cowboys are also facing pressure from within the locker room. Players like Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb are watching closely, and the decisions made regarding Prescott's contract will have ripple effects throughout the team. If Prescott's deal gets done before the season, it could create tension in the locker room, especially with other stars waiting for their own payday. The stakes aren't just about money, they're about keeping the team unified and focused on winning. Dallas finds itself at a critical juncture. On one hand, extending Prescott gives them a chance to compete now and build for the future. On the other, it could tie their hands financially, making it difficult to retain other key players. The decision isn't just about one man, it's about the entire future of the Dallas Cowboys. The next few weeks will be critical for the franchise. If the Cowboys extend Prescott, they'll secure stability at quarterback, but they'll also be making a massive financial commitment that could impact the team's ability to build around him. If they let him walk, they'll be rolling the dice on finding another quarterback who can lead them to a Super Bowl. Either way, the decision will have far-reaching consequences for the Cowboys, their fans, and the future of the franchise. The clock is ticking, and the future of the Dallas Cowboys hangs in the balance. Will they extend Dak Prescott, or are they ready to move on? The decision will define this season and beyond. One thing is for certain: the fate of the Cowboys is about to be decided, and the stakes couldn't be higher.